All right, I'm back on the Atmos clock. I have in this straw, this is how they mail it, the new suspension spring. Um, Actually, it's a thread. Okay, you might be able to see a little bit of the end of it. Um, so what happens is it gets put into here. I use a razor blade to open this up. This holds the bottom, and it goes up here to the. No, I call it. It's not the pendulum. It's really the balance wheel, I think. Um, Anyway, that gets screwed in there, and then this is a bottom cover for that. So that goes up, and it's going to go through the bottom of this suspension spring tube all the way up through here. This little piece is actually hollow, and the spring will actually ride through that, go up into this shaft, the little shaft, and then get pinned. That's just a pin that goes into the top. And then there's a little set screw that holds the pin in, I guess. Um, but that is the entirety of the distance that the suspension spring needs to run. Um, I've been told that, the distance between this and the end down here is like 106 millimeters or something like that. I have to go look that up again, just to get it roughed in. But basically, you pull the spare wire up through the top in order to get it, to suspend and everything else. So these are all the pieces. This is the first time I've ever done a suspension spring like this. Obviously, anniversary clocks and things has something that are similar, but this one is certainly. Actually, make sure it goes through this too. Um, this helps. This is the if you notice here on the top plate here, the fast and slow. This is the mechanism that does that. So that actually rides below here. And we'll get that into place. Make sure we don't miss any pieces along the way with the thread. And it's interesting. The first thing that goes on is this thing. So this goes on, and then on the end of the suspension, and then pulled all the way up. As you saw, there was some spare stuff leftovers from the previous failed. Here it is. Basically, this was just at the top. At the bottom of this little piece, this is like how much is going to be sticking out of the top when we're all done. So that that'll be the waste area will be at the top, and I don't know, we'll cut it off eventually, I guess. But I have a backup suspension spring on order just because this is my first one, and we'll see whether I can pull this off or not. Obviously, you don't want to kink it. You don't want to bend it or certainly break it. And basically this piece is going to be really interesting because, like I said, it actually grabs just through gravity. You put a razor blade in here to open up the jaws, and you stick in the, again, this is step 2. Step 1 is to thread this through. But then getting this caught and getting it perfectly in the center of that tip, so it comes out, exactly, because obviously you want this not to be off center when it's holding the balance wheel. When it's threaded in, this is threaded. So this will be an interesting discovery to get this open and get the other end of the thread in here and grabbed sufficiently so that it it holds the whole weight of the balance wheel. There's actually weights down here. That's how you regulate the speed, by the way. You can buy online additional, like half width weights and things like that. Obviously, you want the same weight on both sides. You don't want it looks like a car wheel. You want your wheel to be balanced, but if you need a kind of a gross increase in speed, you do that with the weights down here. Obviously, there's the fast slow here, but that's not going to compensate for major timing situations. So you may have to. But this is how it was probably made and how it was delivered. So I'm hoping this will be fine the way it is. Anyway, time to get started. Wish me luck. I'll be probably patch in the the aftermath after I get started on this.